The Jamaica Stock Exchange continues to blaze new trails with the launch of the first social IPO in the Caribbean. This move is considered a game changer and is set to make an impact. But what is a social IPO and how can you participate in this investing opportunity? Hi, I'm Shaquille Rochester Shorter and welcome to Finance Matters. Joining us today to tell us more about this social IPO is the chairman of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Mr. Julian Mair. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and now TikTok to see all the episodes and highlights. Thank you, Mr. Mair, for being on our program today.
My pleasure.
So what is a social IPO?
Well, social IPO, it's the first time it's ever been done, right?
Yes.
And as far as we can tell, it's the first time it's ever been done anywhere. But the Jamaica Stock Exchange chose a few years ago to establish Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is deliberately set up for non-for-profits. And it's there to go and support, in a very efficient way, the fundraising needs of not-for-profit organizations that want to go and raise funds and want to do so in a transparent manner with all contributors. So the Social Stock Exchange would have supported this social IPO, which is kind of the first of its kind that Jamaicans know about an IPO, which is you can buy it through your broker, you can buy it online, you can do this, you can do that. So it uses all of those efficient mechanisms of raising funds. And then on the back side of it, it uses all the efficient mechanisms of sharing information with shareholders or with contributors, like in any other IPO or any other listed company. So that's what has made this IPO quite different. It's the first one that's been done for a social stock. It's been done for Project Star, which is a very ambitious project for social change, and has gone forward very well. It's been extended in November, but we're all excited about it, and I think the non-for-profit NGO kind of space is also excited to see how this new mechanism of raising funds and raising awareness, how it works for them.
Jamaica Stock Exchange, they're always in the business to create revenue, but what really influenced the Jamaica Stock Exchange to want to do a social IPO?
So Jamaica Stock Exchange is listed, right? So we always, yes, we're going to try and make money, but we make money by creating a platform.
Yes.
So we have many platforms. We have a public market platform, a junior market platform,
yes.
We have a debt platform. All of those platforms are areas which help people to connect to the investment opportunities that they're interested in.
Yeah.
In this case, once we set up the Social Stock Exchange, well, that's targeting a different type of investor, as it were. And this is somebody who wants to put their money towards change rather than putting their money simply towards a financial return. Once it is that we recognize our mandate, of course, which is to try to develop, utilizing all the tools of the capital market, try to develop the industries that need development and connecting those who need with those who can help and those who want to participate. Well, it became a natural when Star Project came to us and said, we want to use this platform in a very different way than it has ever been used before. We want to use the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, but we want it to mirror what everybody knows the Jamaica Stock Exchange for, which is an efficient mechanism to raise lots of money and to give a lot of accountability to everybody who participates. So in this case, we were happy to support it. We've spent a lot of time trying to explain to people, when you invest in this one, you're really making a contribution, you're making a donation. You're not going to get a financial return.
Yes.
All social stock exchange entities don't provide a financial return to anybody who would have contributed. But what it does, it provides that funding mechanism for contribution of funds towards a social good.
So how can the Jamaica Stock Exchange help to regularize or to help persons to know the qualification that they need to be listed?
Yeah, so again, it's all there, it's all documented, but we know documents are one thing, right? Sometimes people need a little hand-holding.
Yes.
And we have a great team at the Social Stock Exchange that are charged with doing that hand-holding, right? To talk to the not-for-profits, to explain to them what the process looks like, what is it that they require. And a part of the work that the Stock Exchange does through the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is to monitor. So they'll monitor that what was to have been done is being done. With a public company, reporting comes in every quarter. When you're with the Social Stock Exchange, every month that monitoring is happening. So there's a lot of support that you get from the Social Stock Exchange. Yes, there are requirements for being out there and being accountable, but reach out to the stock exchange. Reach out specifically to the Social Stock Exchange. That team is charged with supporting non-for-profits.
All right, so tell us before we go, 3 things that we can look forward to from the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
As far as 3 things to expect from the stock exchange, I mean, we continue to work towards ensuring that we protect the interests of all shareholders. So you'll see more of that, of course.
Sure.
You'll see more listings. We would have had a few recently, and we expect more to come. We are in an interesting time in our economic cycle, with monetary policy pushing up interest rates, and therefore some of the interest in the stock exchange would have abated a little bit. But we think we're at the end of that cycle, and therefore we're looking forward to renewed vibrancy in the market as we start to see the reverse of that. Expect to see that we continue to look to push our borders. We're the oldest stock exchange in the region, and what we've been able to achieve is something that we continue to provide guidance to others on how they can replicate it. Recently we've seen Dominican Republic have their first listing on their stock exchange last month.
So
we see that there's vibrancy. Pardon me?
They're following now.
Well, I would love to tell you that was novel, but the truth is we're following as well, right? So we have big developed markets that we follow, and we chart slightly different courses from them at different times. But those markets that are at their embryonic stage can look to strength from the Jamaica Stock Exchange as to how they can continue to build and develop. And we look forward to continue to provide that support to our regional partners, including those in Guyana, those in Dominican Republic, those in Barbados. It's one ecosystem of capital markets throughout the Caribbean and Central America that kind of all needs to work together so as to have adequate scale to be able to support the global ambitions of our companies and ultimately of our economies.
Well, Mr. Mair, thank you for joining us on our program today.
Thank you, Shaquille. A pleasure being here.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MoF Jamaica, and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.